Oh, is that a hint inside out on that?
That was right on the money. This is absolutely cash. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Got square right before, probably about 0.6, 0.7 of an inch before impact, and the club face stayed square all the way through. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited about this one. It is not even true.
It's months
in the making. It's actually months too sort of long since we should have done this.
Yeah.
We have the Jailbird. Talk to me about this thing.
It's a lot to talk about. So
unwrap this thing for me.
We're going to do a little bit of a story. So we'll call it the end of 2022.
Yep.
Ricky Romano, who is Ricky Fowler's caddy, they play a lot of golf together in the off season, and he was messing around with a putter that he'd had for a long time, and Ricky started to hit putts with it. And for whatever reason, Ricky, who's already a really good putter,
great putter,
really, really good putter, just not only rolling it well, but the ball starting to go in the hole, 15 feet, 16 feet, 17 feet. So he gets to the first event on the mainland, which is the Amex, and links up with Cody Hale, our Odyssey rep, and says, can you build me, he has Ricky Romano's putter, can you match me this?
Exactly, as this is.
The only difference is that he said, I want it to be a little bit heavier.
Yep.
Ricky's did not have all the stuff on the bottom, to my knowledge, Ricky Romano's. And I believe his was a little bit longer, counterbalance or whatever. And to be fair, Ricky Romano had his putter from years ago, 8, 9, 10 years ago, because that's when Versa came out.
Yeah.
So I have to also add this. Keegan Bradley's been putting with his putter for a long time. He's the only guy, but people weren't jumping, trying to get it because Keegan Bradley had it. So Ricky goes off, starts putting the teeth out of the ball at the beginning of the season. Actually plays 9 holes or 18 holes, either casually or during a practice round with Wyndham Clark.
Practice round, I think it was. I think they said it was at Waste Management.
So Wyndham Clark comes on our truck. I was there. Talks to Cody. I just played with Fowler. He's putting the eyes out of the ball. I need that putter.
Yeah.
How do you want it? Exactly. Whatever he has, I want that.
Yeah.
So Cody goes, well, okay, I don't know how to really do this. So he orders an old head. And these new heads have weights at the bottom, but the ones that we had from Pro Tour didn't have anything on the bottom. So that's where you see all the lead tape in the pictures.
Yep.
Had to care if he's got razor blades out, he's fitting it in there and getting it all proper. Gives it to Wyndham Clark. Wyndham's stats, strokes gained with a putter start to go up. He wins Memorial, he wins the US Open. After he wins the US Open, obviously it's the hottest putter.
Yep.
So we're at Travelers Championship. Cody got 16 or 17 heads delivered that Monday. 12 of them went away on that Monday to all the non-staffers.
Wow.
So we've just been continuously getting them in, and then Ricky wins another influx. And then they put them on the site for odysseygolf.com.
Yeah.
In a limited drop, and it was the biggest day of revenue or sales, biggest unit day in Callaway Golf, Odyssey Golf history.
Wow.
Was the day they put Jailbird out online.
And it, like you said there, it's an old putter. It's been out before. This is nothing new.
It's like the main technology in this whole thing is Versa.
Yeah.
Like it's got micro hinge, like, you know, which is I guess a crispier face than White Hot. Stable putter, high MOI. There's no unicorn blood in here. It's just it's the idea of a putter that a guy got hot with, which is what I love about golf. If he can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely.
And off you run. There you go.
That's exactly what we're all looking for. If you've seen someone else do it, it must be good for me.
And it happens for tour players, it happens for you and I, and it happens to 20 handicappers. Yeah.
So you kindly brought us one back from one of the trips. I think maybe it was the first playoff event or something like that.
Yes.
You grabbed one and you said, Fraser, I got you one.
Yeah.
I got you one and I'm coming home.
I'm coming home.
So we have it here. We're going to roll some putts with it, or you're going to roll some putts with it.
I'll roll some putts with it, yeah.
We just done a putter fit video with you. We obviously have stickers on the toe and on the shaft here of the Jailbird. When we're taking the measurements of these stickers, we've got to take some coordinates and points. The coordinates and points I took of this putter versus your 2-ball were exactly the same.
Okay, interesting.
This should not be a million miles away for you. Now, there's some things going on. It's a very different grip. It's the long grip, but it's the wide flat SO 17, which you're not in love with.
No, but that's easy to switch.
Yeah. So we're going to roll some and see how it is for you, because I don't know if this is going to be a million miles away for you. It may launch a little bit, like I said to you earlier. The micro hinge does tend to give people who struggle with launch plenty of it with that angled top groove on the hinge.
Yep.
I love the feel of the thing. I think it feels
really solid.
so good.
Yeah.
It's one of the best feeling putters I've ever putted with. I absolutely love it. But for whatever reason, I think it's flaws within my own technique. I tend to rock a little bit with the putter, J-Dub, so I tend to go that way. And doing that with the counterbalance putter with the micro hinge.
You're working against the putter.
I launch it way too high with that thing. So this is not the one for me, as we found out today.
Could be a nice one for me, though.
But it could be a nice one for you. So we've calibrated it. Let's see.
And if everyone wants to know how these are all set up, so the Ricky and Wyndham setup is like 38 inches. We'll call it 625 to 630 grams total weight.
A tank.
Yeah, tanks.
It's an absolute tank.
2 degrees, 2.5 degrees aloft, 70 lie, right around there. That's where all the builds that Cody Hale does. They're all kind of live in that area. All right. Thing about Versa, for me, is I can always line it up pretty well. So let's see what this does. Ooh, that looks good. Uh-oh, Frezzy.
Okay. A little more launch than we saw from yours, but that's, So there's Versa, or there's micro hinge in a nutshell. It will out top spin everything.
Yeah.
It will roll more forward than anything. But what you're going to get is you're going to get some launch. Micro hinge is by far the most effective high performance club putter face on slightly slow shaggy greens.
Yeah.
Gets it up on top of the surface and gets it charging on with the top spin.
If you put on bent, not the best. If you put on Bermuda or something grainy, they're amazing.
World class.
Yeah.
Absolute world class. As was that stroke, by the way.
Is that a good one?
We were just talking about earlier on trying to kind of get you in a nice window with...
Oh, is that a hint inside to out on that?
That was right on the money.
Here.
This is absolutely cash. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Got square right before, probably about 0.6, 0.7 of an inch before impact. And the club face stayed square all the way through. It literally you could have hit the ball anywhere.
Could have putted a penny off the ground.
That was your best stroke of the day. All right.
I'm channeling my inner Ricky Fowler here. Uh-oh. You know the crazy thing about...
That was better.
Yeah.
That was the stroke you put on one earlier on where you slightly hit it into the ground. Mm-hmm. That was actually slightly better on launch. Face angles in the blue. That's reserved really only for Dr. Paul's Quintic robot.
Yeah. Wow. You want to know the funny stat about Jailbird? Off the top of my head, besides Sam Burns almost putting one in in Memphis, I don't think we have a core staffer in Jailbird. So all the Jailbirds in play are non-staffers. There's like 10 of them out there that are using this putter.
Why do you think that is?
I have that's one I couldn't even tell you. A lot of it's vibe. Like we had, Hayden Buckley came on our truck. He's a Titleist guy, whatever. We have a bunch of guys that'll come on. They just want it. I just sent one to Steph Curry. I just sent one to Seth Curry. Just because they have to have it.
The boys love it.
They just want it.
Yeah,
they need
they
it
love.
now.
Both of those boys love their gear.
Yeah, at a degenerate level.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, they're one of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Give yourself a little tiny step back.
Okay.
And give me a little bit more into it again.
Right here.
Yep.
That was pure.
That was so good. Really, really consistent on the face rotation, J-Dub. This is a great shape for you. We talked about this being exactly the shape of the, in terms of the dimensions of the Odyssey. It's just a different alignment aid.
Right.
And no one would say this is the same type of putter as the 2-ball, but in dimensions, in the physics, and the way the physics pull on the shaft in order to try and create an amount of rotation.
Oh, that was so good.
It's just too pure. It's absolutely pure. 38. Yeah, it just has that little bit of launch. Hit me one more, but just I want your impact club head speed to be a little bit slower.
Slower.
So yeah, just this is a 12-footer. Roll this one like you're
hitting at 8 feet.
Yeah, 8 feet. 8 feet's the number.
Still win the Players' Cup.
Everyone's crowded around the back of the 18th green.
IG Live.
He's made it. He's made it. Because I just wanted to take a little bit of that velocity off there. Yeah, just to see. No, we know that wasn't 1.4 open at all. It just wasn't.
But this is the interesting thing about finding the difference between the numbers, the player, and like reality. So like for me, I know I can set up to this putter, regardless of what I think it looks like, the grip or whatever. I know I can take this putter, sit it right here, and make the same stroke over and over again, and hit a bunch of good putts. I might hit it all over the face, but ultimately I'm starting it online. I can aim it, and I like how the responsiveness of it. That's which there are three things in putter fitting that are huge. Because if you can aim it, you like how it feels. Like you're not in the ballpark. You're like in the infield somewhere.
Yeah, you've got a real big chance from there.
Right.
The biggest thing is for me is you've done two of the main things I look for in any really successful putter fitting. We have the putter face matched up to the path, which we clearly do. I mean, we've got such good control of the line, the start line of your putter.
Right.
And we've got the face rotation down quite significantly. I mean, that there was 28 degrees. We were earlier on with the Atlanta putter with toe hang.
It was like 50 something.
There was one at 56 degrees.
Yeah.
Literally double.
Which is like, that's
just doing that.
Yeah.
Right. There's no element of consistency that can come from that unless you literally do it every single time. And it was,
you have to be a door hinge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You were between 40 and 56 degrees. If we look at what you're doing with this from a rotation standpoint, standard deviation 4, right? Your range is 10. So that's exactly what we're looking for, that consistency.
And so that number, if I'm reading it correctly, like if I see that, or if Joe Toulon's reading that, he would probably look at that as whether or not the MOI and the center of gravity of the putter is actually working in harmony with the player.
Exactly.
Right? If the face is rotating at a nice, harmonious, gait or whatever the hell you want to call it, that putter and that player are married up.
Totally.
Okay.
100%. That's a big part of it. The rate of rotation, how that squares the face relative to the CG is your ability to control the roll perfectly. I would probably say to a degree, less than me, but I would probably say again a white hot face would be maybe slightly better for you than micro hinge.
Right.
Because I wouldn't mind taking a little bit of that top spin away. If we look at how much forward spin you've got there, your average is 50 RPMs. If we look at what 50 RPMs, it's in the high end.
I'm on the razor's edge.
You're on the edge.
Yeah.
I would say the greens that you generally play being on the quicker side.
Right.
Probably 10 to 11.5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? I'd probably like you to be maybe somewhere in this 30 to 50 range rather than 50 and above.
Now, what will happen though, which might affect that number a little bit, is I'm going to take this grip off and put a heavier grip on, which is going to make it's 30 grams heavier than this. Right. Which should slow. Wouldn't that slow the head down if you have more weight in the handle? Because you're
we're going to get rates of movement and degrees of movement. So if you're going to put more weight in the handle, if anything, the head is going to increase.
Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're taking the mass movement to where your hands is. You're going to find the velocity from somewhere. So you're going to get it from the head rather than the hands moving as much.
Because I've always felt like the opposite. Whenever I was trying to slow. Like if I'm going to putt on fast greens, some people would go to a light putter. I always went to real heavy because it felt like if it felt heavy in my hands, my pace slowed down.
Yeah, 100%.
That's just me.
People, I've heard that it's a bit like the same myth or counter logic to, toe hang putters increase faster. For you today, they did
slower.
Generally, they are slower. Yes,
right.
You're right. They generally are slower. But you're the 20%. It's always the 80-20 rule. Yeah, you get it going that way. Right? Because the thing falls open and then you slam the door shut.
Right.
Most people don't do that. So I would say most people just react a little bit more to the way the putter face rotates, and putters with toe hang rotate slower. That's one of the ways in which we can get somebody who misses on the left side, the pull side, we just go more toe hang. and more distance between shaft insertion and toe to really decrease that rate of rotation.
So this could be...
It's in the conversation.
It's definitely in the conversation.
The thing that impressed me with it, J-Dub, and maybe it was a little bit of we had just been working on it, but I just love where your stroke was with this one. I thought your stroke was better with this guy.
The shape of this head, for what I'm working on in my stroke, it's easier for me to make the stroke I want to with this because of the shape. For whatever reason, the square or the lines or whatever, it just makes sense. Like, okay, it's just, almost straight back, straight through. It just feels good. So
there are certain things in the putter studio or in the bay, you can influence. There's certain things you just have to be happy that you're going to learn some things along the way. And one thing we learned from you is we were trying to get you to putt more from the inside. You found it very easy to do that with this guy. There was your last, look at this delivery. Right, slightly from the inside, but for the most part, just working perfectly online.
Yeah.
So if we could get a white hot face into that thing for you, I think we've just...
Well, we're going to, because we're going to Carlsbad tomorrow, so we're going to pull this thing out.
That's it. Then you run the tables. Then you run the tables.
Oh, we like running the tables. Okay.
So
interesting
I love it.
stuff. I mean,
so that's the Jailbird.
How often do you land on? Because this is a putter that people are like, when I said like making a putter work.
Yeah.
People are buying this and trying to make it work with it.
100%.
Cool. Like
they want it to be the one.
For me as a gearhead, it's nice that after all the putters I've tried, because I brought a lot of putters in here with you.
Yeah.
And to land on, I think it's pretty clear to say like this is the best one.
Yeah.
As a gearhead, it kind of warms my heart. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What you've got now is you have the DNA of the head shape that really works for you. There's measurements and coordinates around the size of this head, the shaft installation point, the face length, all those things. There's a real kind of success formula that we've kind of established here today. And now we're really just turning the screws on it, and we're going to take that face out. We're going to put a white hot face in. Yep. We're probably going to take launch down about a degree, and we're going to decrease rate rotation.
Everything else will stay the same. Loft and lie stays the same.
Loft and lie stay exactly the same.
Put a new grip on this thing.
Yeah.
This one's not going to work, and okay.
And then we revisit in about, when do you get back? A week? 10 days?
10 days.
10 days?
No.
Are you back before players?
I get back... I come back Friday morning.
Okay. Well, if we can get that done before then and we can retest, I think we may have the one.
Okay, cool.
Just before we finish up, talk to me a little bit about Jailbird Mini, because I know a lot of people always seen those.
Yep. So we're gonna go 380. So Jailbird, we'll call it large.
Yep.
Is 380 gram head. The new ones obviously come with the weights in the remake version, so we don't have to lead tape the bottom. The minis. There's one with a crank hosel. Essentially, it's just a smaller version of this. It's 350 gram head. Seen a few of them out on tour, but I think at this shape, to be honest, I think people want the bigger.
All the benefits.
Yeah, if you're going to go in, you're going to go in all the way.
Love it.
So they're out there, but they're not seeing as much play as this one is by any stretch. I'd say it's 9-to-1 ratio out of 10.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Guys, one of the benefits and one of the things we're so fortunate is when we get a chance to hang with Johnny is we're not just guessing at what happened with Jailbird. We don't have to get a second-hand story. We're getting the story.
You're getting the story,
right?
yeah.
You guys are we're getting the story from the truck as it happened and the full sort of timeline as to how this became the kind of hottest putter of the year. It's really what everyone talked about.
Something kind of funny. So there's an old trick that the reps used to do, and they had something they knew everybody wanted. They would take a putter off the truck and just go walk the range, right?
Yeah.
So one of my buddies, Jason House, he works for TaylorMade. That was like one of his old tricks if you got a new fairway wood or whatever. So I did it at Travelers.
Yeah.
So I had one, and I started walking the range, and that was the week that Jailbird, Wyndham had just won, and I swear to God, I got stopped 10 or 15 times, like, whoa,
easy there, Wunder.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? Now I always say, it's just mine. I just built it on the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys got them? We got a few of them.
Yeah.
And then Cody just got, I'm not taking the credit, but like they were going to go anyway, but like the interest level was there.
So Wunder's walking the range, throwing a few hooks in the water.
Yeah, it was just a test to see if it worked, and I got stopped by a bunch of players and caddies are like, dude, whoa, where did you get that?
Get back here.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
It's fun.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing the info with us, pal. The inside scoop is what we know you guys want. We're very fortunate that we can have Johnny come and give us the deep dive into this stuff.
Baby.
It's a home game.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. If you want more of this content, please let us know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We want to make sure we're gauging the feedback from you guys. Is this what you want to see us do more of? Obviously, September's Putter Fit month from us, so you'll be seeing a lot more of us on the Putter Studio and hearing a lot more about putter fitting and gear like special cases like the Jailbird.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, pal. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.